Welcome to Screener to Stream It,
where we take a look at a movie that's in theaters now
versus one you can stream at home,
and we try to decide which one should you go with. This week, we went to see Wonder Woman in theaters now.
It's a superhero story. Diana is a princess.
Yeah, from the Amazons, the secret island, without being too spoilery.
And she gets caught up in World War I, has to come to the aid of the good guys.
The good guys, or we're gonna
from our perspective, the good guys.
The good guys.
And she has to save the day, does all the superhero-y stuff.
Yeah, rescues pilot, joins the war, kind of family drama there, but, again, don't want to get too spoilers away, but it's a superhero movie in the middle of a war. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we'll go into more detail here in a second.
So, we had quite a lot of good, action, very good production values. What are we going to rate this one?
Well, I think we're going to give it 4 stars. I was really surprised.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer, in fairness, I was not in love with the trailer. I was really confused about this movie. I didn't know. I was confused as to my feelings going in. Because first of all, it's a superhero movie, and it was getting really good reviews. And I love superhero movies, and it was getting good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But the trailer really didn't look that good to me. I wasn't super excited based on the trailer, and it's another DC movie, and DC has been kind of poo-pooing all over my childhood memories.
The DC movies I have seen, I don't think of many that I really... I mean, not that they're bad necessarily.
They just seem to miss the mark. You had the Green Lantern, Batman v Superman. You had Suicide Squad, which was okay, but it wasn't great. So I was confused. I didn't know whether I was excited because I kind of went back. I was like, I'm excited, maybe I'm not. I'm excited, maybe not. But I really liked it. I'm glad we went and saw it, and I'm glad we gave it a shot. And I was thinking about how I could say it in a good light, and this sounds terrible because I hate to say, copy somebody else, especially if you're doing something artistic. You shouldn't do what everybody else is doing. But on the same hand, if what you're doing is a complete failure and it's just not working, then you got to find somewhere to start with. The reason I'm saying this is it's a DC movie. The DC movies haven't been doing that good. The Marvel movies have been doing great.
Mm-hmm. Mostly, yeah.
This felt like a Marvel movie.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, copy them. I see what you're saying. And really, they didn't copy they copied the right things.
Yes.
More like the arcing thematic, like what the movie is made of. It had a lot of heart. Solid character development, good actors playing those solid characters, and really and good themes in the heart of it too. And then the story is built around that instead of like, here, we're gonna go blow stuff up. Spectacle.
Well, and I've said this before. The reason the Marvel movies for me work, and I think for most people work, Marvel doesn't make comic book movies. Marvel makes an action movie involving comic book characters. It makes a sci-fi movie involving comic book characters. It makes space operas involving, comic book characters. DC keeps trying to make comic book movies, and they don't work. Wonder Woman doesn't feel to me like a superhero movie. It was more of an action movie. Kind of the historical context I thought was great.
Oh yeah, perfect.
If it had been set in modern times, I think it would have felt like a superhero movie instead of the World War I, all the aesthetic and stuff. Man, it just worked so good, and it felt in that sense to me like a Marvel movie. They told a good action. Funny. There were some really funny moments. I was shocked at how funny it was.
So many great moments that happened.
And it just happened to involve a superhero at the same time while doing that. And that's something that Marvel does really well and DC has not done up until this point. And they did that here. I do want to talk about the comedy. I didn't get that in the trailer at all.
No.
I didn't know there was going to... But it was.
And I could see that probably being something you wouldn't want to necessarily put in the trailer because you don't want to think it's a silly movie, because it wasn't. It just had those light moments that really endeared you to the characters and made them kind of bond to each other too. It was fun.
And a lot of it comes from Wonder Woman Diana, basically a fish out of water story, because she was raised on an island by the Amazons and had never seen a man and never existed in our world before until World War I starts, she goes in to try to save the day, and she gets kind of thrown in, and she can't function.
Right.
And
she's very naive, and that really comes through and really contributes a lot to the story. Kind of coming of age, I guess, in a way.
She just really doesn't understand how people work. She doesn't understand the customs, and that creates some really awkward situations.
Right. She understands
funny awkward, not
bad awkward. She understands the ideal, like the narrow stories of this is how it is, but that's life's a lot more complicated than that, of course.
Yeah. Something else I really liked was the cast of characters. I think you said that before, but it had this really weird, eclectic, group of people, but they were all very different. And they were all unique, and I enjoyed the other characters. It wasn't just all... I mean, Diana, Wonder Woman, is the main focus.
And gorgeous.
But, you had the World War I pilot, you had the sniper buddy, you had the scout, they had all these... And
the guy that buys and sells all the things, and, he's...
But that worked really well. And they all worked well together. They made up a good team, and it was, I thought that was great.
And some really good villains. They were creepy. They were properly creepy with the lady with the mask thing and the like psycho gas they were making that was melting everything.
Well, and that's one of the big complaints have been about the Marvel movies has been the villains have felt kind of weak. I thought they had some really good villains. Not so much on the main villain there at the end was kind of, I don't know,
a little underwhelming for you.
He was a little CGI to me. And if I had to detract anything, if there was a negative I could take from this, some of the CGI in it just did not look. And I don't know if you could. I don't know how you make, because Wonder Woman is,
superhuman.
She is, and leap tall buildings in a single bound. And how you take a person, make them do that and make it look
real.
Yeah, that's hard. It did not work.
I only had actually one complaint. The more I thought about it, I mean, that is a valid complaint, and some of the jumping just didn't look quite right. But the one complaint I actually had was the lasso of truth. I like the lasso of truth. It's fine. And in the old series, Linda Carter, I get when she'd rope somebody every episode, she'd have to explain to them that they have to tell the truth, because people watching once a week may not remember that from week to week, or if they've skipped several weeks. But in this movie, I don't know how many times they explained it. I mean, up front, they did it right. They explained it once really good, and then they used it again once or twice without explaining it again. But then at the very end of the movie, they had to explain it one more time. Like, at that pivotal moment, I'm like, really? We got this already? Just,
See, I didn't even notice that.
Well, it irked me, but that's just a pet peeve. Minor detail.
I was too wrapped up in her stupid shoes. But
the shoes didn't bother me. I didn't even notice the shoes.
Alright, so anyways, we give it 4 stars. It's a very good movie. You should go check it out in theaters. If you're not up for theaters, though, what are going to be our...
That's I've been thinking about that. I've been racking my brain on it. I have one thought that came to mind, because one of the things Wonder Woman is very strong on is girl power. Like, serious girl power. She don't need a man to rescue her. She is doing stuff. And I thought of Red Sonja. Which takes itself very seriously. Not really a superhero movie, but, definitely a kick-butt fighter chick who's not looking for help. She is out to save herself, and, it's a good option. It's a bit more campy than Wonder Woman, and it's old, but, hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it, so, that you can't go wrong there.
All right. Well, for my extreme adoption, I'm going to say The Mummy, and not the new...
Not Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, the
Brendan Fraser movie.
No, not the brand new one, not the one with Tom Cruise. The Brendan Fraser movie. Because there's several things. One is the historical aspect, because they're
right. It's set in like 1911, actually near the same time.
Yeah, they're set near the same time, so you get kind of that visual thing. The Rachel Weisz, I cannot remember what her character, Phoebe, was it Evie?
Yes, Evie.
Okay, Evie's character kind of is the Wonder Woman character. She doesn't have superpowers, but she is the fish out of water.
Yeah.
Because she's the bookworm, and then the mummy, she has to go out in the field.
Now she's an action adventure.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. And there was an awful lot of comedy in that movie that I was not expecting. There were some really funny moments, and even though it is a horror movie, and you get a lot of the times the funny moments turn into horrible moments,
right?
but I still kind of get the same feel. It visually looks very similar. You get the girl who's doesn't exactly fit in her surroundings, and you get the funny moments thrown in there. So yeah, I really like The Mummy. That's one you should check out if you're just not up for theaters.
Well, that's all our time. Thanks for watching Screen It or Stream It.
And remember, don't take your kids to the movies on Tuesday nights, because that's when we go.